Hi, I'm Jen Ziegler and I'm a real estate agent in Kitchener-Waterloo. Thank you for listening to my videos. Today I'm going to talk to you about the day in the life of a real estate agent. But I'm just going to basically tell you my day since I don't know what everybody else does. We're all different. We all run our business very different. And I'm also a mom, so I have two little boys that are 4 and 2. So I feel like my life is a little bit different than everyone else. So why don't I give you a rundown of what yesterday looked like. So typically I get up around 6:30 because I have a cute little 2-year-old redhead that likes to wake me up. I'll typically do a rundown of all my emails, which I know you're not supposed to do, and set your mindset, but it's fine. I just quickly read them. I don't necessarily respond, but I just do a gauge of, okay, here's the things I need to follow up from last night. Showing requests, offers, new client appointments, setting up things. So I just kind of do a quick review. Then I start my day with my kiddos, get them all prepped, have breakfast, do a hangout, get them all ready, and I drop them off at school. So because I don't have a typical 9-to-5 job, and a lot of times I work at night, it is nice that I can have that morning time with my kiddos. So I get them up, take them off to school and daycare, and then I typically will go into the office and start getting work on a lot of the admin side of my business. Or if I have an appointment, then I'll start them around 10, go out, sit down, start having coffees, or I'll have a listing appointment, or I'll have a buying appointment, and I'll sort of just set those up so I have enough time to get from one location to the other and just be able to ask all the questions that I want to ask. So for example, if I'm going to sit down with someone and do a listing appointment, I typically want to be there for an hour to an hour and a half. I'm very thorough when it comes to asking questions about people's properties because I come from a lot of renovation background and a lot of construction background, so I really want to get an idea of everything in regards to the house. And I think that knowing all that information is really important and then helps me to be able to market it appropriately. So I think often people make that time too short, and I'm someone that just likes to take all the notes because this person might have been living in this house for 30 years and they know all these things about it, and I want to ask all the right questions so I can learn. Okay, you replaced the roof in 2010. Okay, I know that. Okay, you once had water here. Okay, let's put that in there because we want to make sure we're so thorough and I'm able to explain this house like it was my own when it comes to marketing it. Because I always put myself in the shoes. If this was my house, what would I want to sell? How would I work with the things that maybe aren't attractive? How can I spin them to sound attractive? Which is super crucial. And that kind of stuff. So that would typically be kind of how I would run things up to lunch. At lunchtime, I'd like to book with someone. Also, if I can have lunch, I'll book a lunch. If I have to catch up on admin work, I'll do that. If I'm still negotiating with offers, I'll often be on my phone, making phone calls, touching base with realtors, getting feedback on my listings, following up with my sellers, letting them know where they're at in the process, how things are working on their offer, that kind of stuff. Then around 4 o'clock is when I start my evening appointments, which is typically buyer showings. So most people finish their normal 9-to-5 job, and then I'll go out and set up showings for 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and sometimes 8:15, depending on locations and how quick I can get to one place to another. And I always ask people what kind of job they're in so they can kind of set out time. In a perfect world, I'd love to get people through 3 or 4 properties, so sometimes I'll link them all in a row just so that they have a good spread of what things are going on, and whether or not they like all 3 or they don't like any of them, that's fine, but at least they're getting out and seeing at their price point what the different options are. So maybe they could buy a condo, but maybe they could buy a new townhouse, but maybe they could buy an old century home. At least they're seeing the things in their price point so they can start to narrow down in their mind exactly what they're looking for. And then once I sort of finish all my showings, often I'll be working on offers. If somebody likes them, fingers crossed, then we put together an offer and we start the offer presentation process. And that typically runs me until about 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. So it definitely is a very busy life. On the weekends, I make sure that I don't book things in the morning so I can hang out with my kiddos as much as possible. And then I like to run open houses for properties. A lot of people ask me how do I do this, balancing being a mom and being a real estate agent. And to be honest, I have help for everything else. So I have an awesome assistant that helps me do a lot of my admin and my paperwork. My husband is awesome. He does pick up for the kids after school. My mother-in-law lives with me. She's awesome. She helps and makes dinners, so I don't have to worry about it. So my kids always have like a really good routine, I have a cleaning lady. Like I think it's funny how sometimes we want to like portray that we have it all going on, and I 100% don't. I just only want to spend time with my family, and I want to spend time with my clients and help them and guide them the best way I can. And I love that side of my business. So if I ever feel out of balance, then I make sure I spend more time with my family. Or if I feel like my kids are driving me crazy and I've been home too much, then I switch it. And I think that anyone that, is in any type of job can experience how hard it is sometimes to balance. And I'm not the best at it, but it's something that I've really worked at. And sometimes it means narrowing things out. Sometimes it means maybe not seeing your friends as much as you want to. But I have awesome friends that are always like, whatevs, Jen, we're busy too. We'll see you when we see you. And so that would be my typical day. You can always reach out to me if you're thinking you want to get into this career. I'd happy to help you. I think my schedule has changed a lot since I started this 10 years ago. And, now being in a position where I have a lot more referrals coming to me, and I've kind of built up a business, which is awesome. And I'm grateful to be in that space. But I do remember being at the beginning and how hard I had to work and hustle to kind of get myself to where I am today. And also, if you don't have a 4 and a 2-year-old, I feel like you have a lot more time and sanity. So there's that as well. But yes, that's kind of a look into the inside of my life. And, you can always reach out to me if you ever have any questions. I super appreciate you listening. Remember to always, always follow your heart in real estate. Thanks so much. Take care.